Douglas Brinkley is a professor and American author that has written books and movies. He was born on December 14, 1960. One of his most famous stories is Rosa Parks. Besides being an author and a professor, he's a history commentator and a magazine editor. On the other side, Rita Dove is the author for the poem dedicated to the story for Rosa Parks. She was born in Ohio, and actually she writes poems, movies, and plays. Not only she wrote a poem for Parks, she also has a book about her.
Rosa Parks. Her complete name is Rosa Louise Macaulay Parks. She was born in 1813 and she passed away in 2005. She was a civil rights activist and she was named by the U.S. Congress the mother of the modern-day civil rights movement. She was known for refusing to give her seat to a white man named James F. Blake.
This story and poem is developed in a yellow Olive City bus in Alabama. She sits in the park for African Americans. Southern states once had laws that enforced racial segregation or separation. Among other injustices, African Americans were forced to sit in separate sections of buses. In 1955, Rosa Parks' refusal to give up her seat for a white passenger on a bus triggered a 382-day bus boycott by African Americans in Montgomery, Alabama. The boycott brought Rosa Parks, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and their cause to the attention of the nation. In 1956, the Supreme Court ruled that segregation on buses and other transportation was unconstitutional. When Rosa Parks made her momentous decision not to give up her seat on the bus in Montgomery, Alabama, she joined a tradition of nonviolent resistance that spans many cultures. Racism is the main topic of the short story. At that time, it was very common for black people's rights to be violated and the white people's rights to be prioritized. Rosa Parks is the main character of the story. She was a black woman who fought for her rights, even if that might have bad consequences for her. James F. Blake, he was a man that forced her to give her seat to him just because he was white and she was black. Rosa Parks was sitting in the middle section where you had to give the seat to a white man or woman if they asked you to. She refused to give up her seat and made a lot of controversy because it never happened before and was considered wrong. Writers of fiction use various methods of characterization to develop the made-up characters in their stories. They might provide descriptions of characters' looks, thoughts, feelings, and ideas. Rosa Parks is described by the authors with different techniques, such as facts and details about her actions, thoughts, and appearance. Quotations from Rosa Parks, quotations from others who knew Rosa Parks. She is described in the poem with techniques like word choice to describe Rosa Parks' actions and appearance, as well as images to depict Rosa Parks' traits. When you set a purpose for reading, you find specific reasons for reading a work. Your purpose for reading the selections that follow is to compare contrasts. We compare the biography and the poem. For example, talking about her appearance, in biography she seems tired, but in the poem she wears a sensible coat. The vocabulary in the story is mainly used to describe Rosa Parks' actions, emotions, or feelings. It's also used as a literary resource to keep the reader interested in the story because of its structure. The vocabulary in context is frenetically, in a frenzied or frantic way. Protege, a person who is guided or supported by an older or more influential person. Reverie, state of daydreaming. Exhortation, a communication strongly urging that something be done. Serene, calm, peaceful. Retrieve, to find and return safely. Rosa Parks was an incredibly strong and brave woman. She is an extraordinary example not only for black people, but for everyone because of the way she stood up for herself that day on the bus. She is seen as a protester, not a victim, and she should be remembered that way.